Thank you. Please. Dr. Men Malayang III, University President. Professor Lenore M. Briones, Chairperson of the Board of Trustees, and the rest of the members of the board. Bishop Ruel Norman O. Marizaga, General Secretary of the United Church of Christ in the Philippines. Mayor Karen Villanueva of Blinn. Attorney Grace A. Sumapalang, National President, Silliman Alumni Association. Esteemed members of the university, faculty, parents, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, class of 2013. Hello. It's more like it. I'm honored to be with you today and have the chance to be a very special part of your day. 100 years of commencement addresses. It's wonderful. Mayong adlaw sa inyong tanan. Mauswagan ang Silliman, mauswagan ang Pilipinas. The way, the truth, the life, Silliman University. To the parents who are here, I salute you. Let me just say that as a father of a college graduate, I expect that you are stunned as I was, as how short their time is between diapers and diplomas. I know this is a very proud day for all of you. Now, students, those of you graduating, I need your help for a second. I want you to please stand up. Now, turn around quickly, and I want you to say, Salamat Mama uk Papa, Salamat Nanay at Tatay. Now turn back around, whole 180, and thank the Silliman administration, faculty, and staff for their work and sacrifice that they undertook to get you here today. Now, when I arrived on campus a few minutes ago, I had the honor and distinction of taking a photograph with the honor graduates. I was very pleased because, you know, in the States we also have honor graduates of universities. And we have cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude. Of course, I graduated, thank you, Lorde. But I still graduated. Graduates, your university, since its beginnings a little over a century ago, has had a long and impressive history, and as the 29th ambassador of America to the Philippines, I am proud that the United States has been a part of that history from the very beginning. Today, Silliman is not just a university. It is among the foremost institutions of higher learning in the country, and influence for good, not only here in the Philippines, but around the world. I wish to congratulate your President, Dr. Ben S. Malayang III, for the honor bestowed on this university earlier this month for being the home of Asia's oldest creative writing program, the Silliman University National Writers Workshop. Over the decades, education has been a bridge between our two countries. Our relationship as two peoples really took off in the early days of the 20th century with the arrival of the Thomasites on the Philippine shores, and down through the years through the commitment and dedication of generations of American leaders and Peace Corps volunteers in the Philippines. Now, you know, the Thomasites were my cousins. I'm a Thomas. But I know that the American missionaries were here at Silliman before the Thomasites even arrived. So my cousins, like they are to many family events, were a little late. But today, it's not just Americans coming to the Philippines as educators and community volunteers. Today, hundreds of Filipinos and Filipino-American educators teach young Americans in schools across the United States. That, to me, speaks volumes as how far we have come as friends and as Asia-Pacific neighbors. Looking out on you, I remember 35 years ago when I graduated from university. Now, I'm from a middle-class family in America. My mom was a social worker and a teacher, and my father a small business person. I worked in my family's restaurant all through high school and college. My parents spent their life savings to help pay for my university fees. I, like many of you, had to have help. I also had to help. For 4 years in college, I took out the garbage that my fellow students ate. Not just the garbage, but the excess food. And I had to take it to the truck that fed the pigs. Imagine the smell. I can still remember the stench. In graduate school, I worked in a store where I had to sweep the streets every day. I would wave at my fellow students as they passed by in their fancy cars. It made me determined not to waste my parents' sacrifice and make something of myself. And I know there are many of you here today who feel the same way. I, like you, wanted to succeed. I, like you, had friends who could not afford college. I, like you, knew what it was not to have pera for lunch or dinner in my pocket. My life was difficult. Lusod ang akong kinabuhay, di ba? But at graduation, I could thank my parents. I could say, I only know how to say this in Tagalog, but maganda ang buhay ko dahil sa iyo. I was stirred as a student by the words of Senator Benigno Aquino when he said that the Filipino is worth dying for. When I was a child, Dr. Martin Luther King said that no man should live who doesn't have something he's willing to die for. He, like Senator Aquino, paid with his life so we could be here today. Like Senator Aquino, national hero Dr. Jose Rizal refused to remain in the safety and comfort abroad. Rizal celebrated the Filipino, and he knew that Filipinos had your own history, your own culture, and your own heroes. He refused to let foreigners define the Filipino. He died for you, and he died for me. If he were here today, he would ask you to sacrifice for your country and for your people. He would have demanded that you rewrite and reclaim the Philippines and its history. So students, relax. I'm not asking you to sacrifice your lives. But I am asking, what are you willing to do to change the world? Are you determined to make it a better place? Or are you content to sit back and watch others shape the future? Are you Cory Aquino? Are you Jose Rizal? Are you Lapu Lapu? Or are you Dr. Lenore Briones, Professor Emeritus of University of the Philippines, who in 1970, as a Silliman University and UP Cebu professor, went underground to resist martial law? You can only decide what you are for yourselves, and you may sacrifice for your country. I hope you sacrifice for your family. It is up to you. You have to choose. Now, I believe that you are capable of changing the world. I believe that Silliman produces outstanding students. I believe that you can compete with anyone around the world. My question is, do you believe that? Do you think you're as good as anybody in America? Anybody in China? Well, go out and prove it. Prove it. Show that the Filipino is as good, if not better, than anybody in the world. So 35 years from today, when one of you is back here giving the address, that question will not have to be answered. Everybody will know that the Filipino students are equal to anyone in the world. Now, you may change the world in large and small ways. It may be just sharing your lunch with a hungry colleague. Or maybe it's inventing the next Facebook, Google, or iPhone. Don't you think you can do that? Why not? Facebook could have come from the Philippines. Google could have come from the Philippines. Anything, the next great thing, why doesn't it come from the Philippines? Why doesn't it come from Silliman University? It's up to you. Puede, huh? So thank you so very much for having me here today. Before I conclude, I want to say that in part I wanted to come here because although I'm a Catholic, my mother was raised by the Presbyterians. And I can tell my 89-year-old mom that I went to a Presbyterian university for a commencement. I can even take photos and send back because she doesn't believe that anybody would have ever invited me to give a commencement address. Well, I hope that we'll always be friends, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or whatever YouTube sensation you guys do. In our embassy, we did Call Me Maybe video. Maybe you guys are going to do the Harlem Shake, or you're going to be Psy and Gangnam Style. But whatever you do it with faith, passion, integrity, and never, ever forget the sacrifice your parents, your family, and this university made on your behalf. So once again, mauswagan ang Silliman, mauswagan ang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat, and I salute you all.